When we look at Scripture, God is the righteous one, the Holy One of Israel. We first begin then with Jesus Christ, who is the image of the invisible God. And what do we know about Jesus is that he entered in, he was deeply relational, he came to save, and he came to restore everything that had gone wrong. So when we begin with the justice and righteousness in Jesus Christ, we get a very rich picture of justice and righteousness. And as we look back through the whole biblical narrative, we believe Jesus is central to the whole story, even though chronologically he appears at one moment, that everything has to be looked at through the lens of Christ. When we look at Old Testament understandings of righteousness, it is a rich relational term there. It has to do with living in a right relationship within God's covenant. So living rightly with God, living rightly with others, treating people according to God's will and ways. It had to do with what was best for the community and the way of treating people that would be the best for all. So all these relational connotations come up when we enter into righteousness. And within the Old Testament, justice and righteousness are often connected as concepts, as well as actually appearing within the narrative together in parallel. They're deeply connected in the New Testament. The same Greek root can be translated either justice or righteousness, so they're deeply connected. When you look at places like Romans, and we read our translations that sometimes use justice or justification and sometimes use righteous and righteousness, for the original listeners, those would all have been deeply woven together. So they would have clearly seen that God's justice was connected to our ability to live with righteousness, which was connected to our ability to seek justice and righteousness for others. When Jesus says, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, that's deeply connected to living in a right relationship with God so that we can seek rightness in this world, so that we can be restored to our own wholeness and seek wholeness and flourishing for other people.